Hi everyone, this is the Nordic Venture Show, your guide to the exciting world of Nordic startups and venture capital. In today's episode, we're exploring a startup called Bob W.
Okay, so you were right. Bob W. Apartments. This is way more than just some random travel app.
Right.
You weren't kidding with all this research. We've got investor reports, articles, even funding announcements. Someone's got a serious case of wanderlust.
Or maybe they're thinking about investing in the next big travel disruptor. Yeah, it's interesting, though, because on the surface, they look like any other Airbnb competitor, but...
Yeah, I was going to say exceptionally cool short-stay apartments. Sounds nice and all.
Sure.
But not exactly revolutionary.
And that's the thing, right? That's the clever bit. They're not trying to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
They're aiming for that sweet spot between, those sterile hotel rooms
Yeah, I've been there.
and those, let's say, unpredictable Airbnbs.
Yeah. Okay, I see what you mean. So how do they bridge that gap? By being ridiculously clean. What does that even mean?
Well, remember that Airbnb you stayed in that shall not be named.
Ugh, don't remind me. Sparkling clean, they said.
Exactly. That's exactly what Bob W. is trying to avoid. See, they're going for that hotel-level reliability. Consistent, but with a more, local design-focused vibe.
So like your stylish friend's apartment,
Yeah.
but with a professional cleaning crew on speed dial. Speaking of which, 80 steps.
Really? Hey, that's what the website says. 80-step cleaning process.
Okay, but that's got to be more than just like a marketing thing, right?
Right. This is about appealing to a specific kind of traveler. People who
Yeah.
are willing to pay a little extra for that peace of mind.
Knowing they won't find any surprises.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got the fancy soap and the fresh towels covered. But then there's all this tech stuff.
Yes.
I mean, Series A funding? These venture capitalists aren't messing around.
No, they are not. They see something here. They see potential, big potential. That's why they're investing. And that potential, well, it all comes down to Bob W.'s tech-driven approach. They actually use this phrase, fully automated customer experience.
So, robot butlers.
Not right.
Self-making beds.
Not that either. Think about it, though. Checking in, controlling the lights, the temperature, ordering whatever you need, all through an app.
So like a personal concierge in your pocket.
Exactly. And for Bob W., that means lower costs, which hopefully translates to lower prices, and a big edge over the competition.
So they're not just in the hospitality business, they're a tech company
Right.
that just happens to offer really nice places to stay.
Exactly. Which leads us to another interesting point, this whole climate neutral thing they're pushing.
Yeah, we've heard that before.
We have. And it's easy to say, right? But is it legit?
Greenwashing at its finest.
Well, from your research, it looks like they might be going a bit further than just buying carbon offsets. They talk about double offsetting.
Double. So for every ton of carbon they produce.
They'd invest in removing 2 tons from the atmosphere.
Okay, so they're putting their money where their mouth is. But how do we know these offsetting programs are actually making a difference?
That is the million-dollar question, and a great point. It's on us, the consumers, to hold them accountable, make sure these programs are legit. So to recap, stylish apartments, easy tech, and at least they're trying with the whole sustainability thing. I mean, it sounds promising, but...
It does, but then we get to the really interesting part. Their expansion plans. They're already in a few big cities.
Right.
But that's just the beginning. We're talking about a potential hostile takeover, but with way better furniture.
Wait, hold on. Hostile takeover. What exactly have you been reading about? This just got good.
Well, maybe takeover is a bit strong.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, a few sources mention mergers and acquisitions.
Okay, so not just new cities. They're talking about taking over existing places.
That's what it sounds like. And think about it, that's huge. Combine their tech, their sustainability practices, with properties in, like, prime locations.
Suddenly, they're a major player.
Exactly. Okay, now those investor dollars make a lot more sense. But hold on, they're not just targeting, people like us who spend hours looking for the perfect apartment with a balcony and a view, right?
You know me too well. Always after that balcony. But you're right. They're also going after business travelers.
Which is smart. Especially with startups, tech companies, they want that same convenience, reliability.
Exactly. And let's not forget that whole sustainability angle.
Right.
If they could really pull that off, it's a huge selling point for businesses. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, we care about the planet. We're offering our employees eco-friendly travel options.
Without sacrificing the comfort.
Right.
Okay, this is way bigger than I initially thought. They're creating a whole ecosystem. But let's circle back to that sustainability thing for a sec.
Okay,
We
sure.
talked about the double offsetting and all that, but what about, like, the actual on-the-ground stuff?
Good point. True sustainability is about more than just carbon emissions. Are they using energy-efficient appliances? Local products? Minimizing waste?
And what about that 80-step cleaning process? Don't get me wrong, I love a clean apartment, but 80 steps? That's got to use a ton of water cleaning products. Are they eco-friendly?
Such a good point. Are they using those refillable dispensers? Eco-friendly solutions?
Right. These are the details that matter.
Absolutely. Especially for travelers who are trying to make conscious choices.
It can't just be about ticking boxes.
No, it has to be genuine, embedded in every aspect of the business.
Otherwise, people see right through it. Greenwashing 101.
Exactly. Consumers are savvy.
So Bob W., they need to be ready to prove it. Transparency is key.
Absolutely. From the cleaning products to where they get their supplies to the energy they use, it's complex.
But it's the future, right?
It is. More and more companies, especially in travel, are going to have to figure this out.
Especially if they want to appeal to those eco-conscious travelers.
It's not a niche market anymore. It's becoming the norm.
Exactly. And that's what makes Bob W. so interesting. It's not just about disrupting the rental market. It's about changing how we think about travel. Yeah.
Yeah, making it sustainable for the 21st century.
Okay, now you're making me want to book a trip just to see if they live up to the hype. Speaking of which, you mentioned something about neighborhood guides. Tell me more about that.
Okay, neighborhood guides. Lay it on me. What's the big deal? It's not like those are hard to find. You walk into any hotel lobby.
Right, stacks of brochures.
Exactly.
But Bob W's are different. Think, curated, beautifully designed, hyperlocal.
So less about the nearest Starbucks.
Exactly.
More about that hidden gem coffee shop run by, like, award-winning baristas.
There you go.
Okay, so tapping into that desire for, authentic travel, but are they being genuine?
I think it's a bit of both.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's not necessarily a bad thing. They're giving people what they want, a more curated, meaningful way to experience a city.
So it's not just, here's your key, have fun.
Right.
It's more like, here's how you actually live here, even if it's just for a few days. And that's smart. Especially these days when everyone's looking for something a little deeper than just, the tourist traps and the Instagram photos.
Yeah, no more Eiffel Tower selfies. Been there, done that.
Exactly. That's what makes this whole Bob W. thing so fascinating. They're blurring the lines between, like, hospitality, tech, even social impact.
It's like they took everything we love about boutique hotels, Airbnb, those travel blogs we can't stop reading, and mashed it all up.
Into one sleek, tech-enabled package.
With, hopefully, a positive impact on the planet.
Right. Though, whether they can actually pull it off on a large scale, that's the big question.
It is. Only time will tell. But it's definitely something to keep an eye on.
For sure.
Well, there you have it. Stylish apartments, tech that actually makes sense, a dash of eco-consciousness, and a side of curated local experiences. Who knows? Maybe this is the future of travel.
It could be.
A world where your accommodation is just the starting point for something way more interesting. A huge thank you to our expert for, being an expert, and to you, dear listener, for joining us on this deep dive.
Always a pleasure.
If you're planning your next trip, check out Bob W's website. Just maybe clear your schedule first. Those neighborhood guides are pretty tempting. Until next time, happy travels.
Thanks for listening to the Nordic Venture Show. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for more stories of innovation from the Nordics.